Historic landmarks have long captivated our imaginations. Their towering structures and weathered facades whisper stories of centuries past. For some, these places serve as a window into history, offering glimpses into the lives and events that shaped our world. For others, they are much more, a portal to the unknown, a stage for the supernatural. Haunted landmarks occupy a unique space in our cultural consciousness. The idea that history might leave behind not only artifacts and architecture but also echoes of those who lived before us adds an irresistible layer of intrigue. From ghostly apparitions to inexplicable sounds, these sites promise an adventure into the spine-chilling realm of the unexplained. The connection between historic landmarks and the paranormal isn't a modern invention. For centuries, folklore and ghost stories have surrounded iconic locations. Legends passed down through generations add an air of mystery to these already fascinating places, drawing thrill-seekers, skeptics, and believers alike. Today, we'll explore 3 unforgettable encounters at famous historic sites, delving into the eerie tales, the evidence, and the psychological perspectives that make these stories so compelling. Our journey begins with the heart of the mystery, stories from those who have ventured into these historic sites and come face to face with the unexplainable. The Tower of London, a legacy of fear. Few places in the world are as steeped in history and tragedy as the Tower of London. Constructed nearly 1,000 years ago, this imposing fortress has been the site of royal intrigue, imprisonment, and executions. Its walls, steeped in blood and sorrow, seem to whisper the secrets of the past, making it no surprise that they are said to harbor restless spirits. One of the most famous specters is that of Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated queen executed on the orders of her husband, King Henry VIII. Visitors have reported seeing a headless figure dressed in Tudor-era clothing wandering the grounds near the Tower Green, where she was beheaded. The sight of Anne's ghost is often accompanied by an oppressive silence that seems to muffle the usual sounds of the bustling city beyond the tower's walls. Others claim to feel an overwhelming sense of sadness and unease in her former quarters, as if the very air remembers her final days of despair. But Anne is not alone. Guards patrolling the grounds at night have their own haunting tales to share. One chilling account describes a soldier who fainted after encountering a shadowy figure that seemed to walk straight through a locked door. The figure, described as tall and cloaked in darkness, was seen moving purposefully down a corridor before disappearing into thin air. Even seasoned guards, accustomed to the tower's macabre history, admit to feeling an unshakable fear during their solitary rounds. The tower's eerie reputation doesn't end there. The ghostly figure of the White Lady is another notorious presence within its ancient walls. Witnesses have reported fleeting glimpses of her spectral form, dressed in flowing white garments and often seen near the White Tower. Her presence is often accompanied by an unsettling floral scent, described as the smell of roses, though it quickly turns rancid, leaving those nearby nauseated. One guard claimed to have seen her standing at the end of a long corridor, her face twisted in a silent scream. The image haunted him for days, leaving him unable to resume his duties within the tower. Traitor's Gate, where condemned prisoners were brought into the tower by boat, is another hotspot for terrifying encounters. On particularly still nights, the sound of splashing water has been reported, even when the river is calm. Faint, desperate cries for mercy seem to echo from the stone walls, as if the voices of the doomed prisoners linger in the very air. Visitors have recounted seeing ghostly faces reflected in the dark waters beneath the gate, only for the apparitions to vanish as quickly as they appeared. The oppressive atmosphere of Traitor's Gate has left many visitors trembling, feeling as though they were being watched by unseen eyes. Perhaps the most spine-chilling tale of all involves the mysterious phenomenon known as the Shadow of the Ravens. The tower's ravens are famously protected, as legend has it that their departure would signal the fall of the kingdom. Yet, on several occasions, guards have reported seeing shadowy bird-like figures flitting across the walls at night. When the actual ravens are checked, they are found safe in their roosts, undisturbed. These ghostly shadows seem to dart between the battlements, their forms unnervingly silent. Some believe these spectral ravens are harbingers of doom, tied to the tower's long and bloody history. For those who encounter these shadowy forms, the sense of dread is so profound it lingers long after they leave the tower's grounds. The Tower of London stands as a symbol of power and history, but its dark past makes it one of the most haunted locations in the world. Its walls have borne witness to centuries of suffering, betrayal, and death, leaving behind a legacy that seems to defy time itself. Whether it's Anne Boleyn's tragic spirit, the ghostly White Lady, or the shadowy ravens that flit across the battlements, the tower offers no shortage of chilling tales. For those brave enough to visit, it's a place where history and the supernatural intertwine, creating an experience that is both unforgettable and deeply unsettling. This story is about the Gettysburg Battlefield, Echoes of War. America's Civil War left an indelible mark on Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. The site of one of the war's bloodiest battles, Gettysburg is said to be haunted by the spirits of soldiers who never found peace. Numerous visitors have reported hearing the unmistakable sound of musket fire and cannon blasts long after the battlefield fell silent. One family claimed to see a group of uniformed soldiers marching in formation, only for the figures to vanish moments later. These phantom regiments are a common sight according to local lore. Perhaps the most chilling story comes from the nearby Jenny Wade house, where the only civilian killed during the battle met her tragic end. Guests have reported objects moving on their own and the faint scent of bread baking, a tribute, they say, to Jenny's final act of kindness before her untimely death. But the Jenny Wade house holds even darker mysteries. Some visitors have described hearing disembodied whispers as they ascend the creaking staircase, with one witness claiming they heard a woman's voice softly crying out for help. Others have reported the sensation of unseen hands brushing against their shoulders or tugging at their clothing, as if the ghostly presence of Jenny herself is reaching out for comfort. The oppressive atmosphere in certain rooms has caused some to flee the house in terror, convinced they were not alone. On the battlefield itself, the Devil's Den, a rocky area where some of the most intense fighting took place, has become a hotspot for eerie encounters. Photographers attempting to capture the rugged beauty of the site often report strange anomalies in their images, including shadowy figures and translucent faces peering out from the rocks. One chilling account describes a tourist who encountered a grizzled man in a Civil War uniform, urging them to take their time before vanishing into thin air. The rocks themselves seem to hum with residual energy, leaving many visitors with a profound sense of unease. Another infamous location, the Sachs-covered bridge, served as both a retreat route and a makeshift morgue during the battle. At night, the bridge takes on a life of its own. Witnesses have reported hearing the sound of footsteps echoing across the wooden planks, despite the bridge being empty. Others claim to see shadowy figures standing at the far end of the bridge, only to watch them dissolve into the darkness. One paranormal investigator described feeling an ice-cold grip on their arm while walking through the bridge, leaving behind a vivid red mark that lasted for hours. For many, Sachs-covered bridge serves as a chilling reminder of the souls who may still be trapped between worlds. Gettysburg is more than a battlefield, it's a place where the past refuses to rest. For those who visit, the lingering echoes of war are not just history but a haunting reality that makes the site unforgettable. This story is about Edinburgh Castle, Scotland's haunted jewel. Perched high above the city, Edinburgh Castle is as famous for its paranormal activity as it is for its breathtaking views. With a history stretching back to the 12th century, the castle has witnessed countless sieges, imprisonments, and executions. The most notorious ghost is the Lone Piper, a soldier who vanished while exploring the castle's underground tunnels. Legend has it that his eerie bagpipe music still echoes through the halls on quiet nights. Another frequent apparition is a spectral dog that roams the castle grounds, believed to be the spirit of a beloved pet buried in the nearby cemetery. Visitors often describe feeling sudden chills, hearing disembodied footsteps, or seeing shadowy figures darting through the corridors. The question remains, are these experiences the result of overactive imaginations, or is something more sinister at play? One of the most unsettling areas of the castle is the infamous dungeon, where prisoners of war were once held in horrific conditions. Visitors often report hearing the faint clinking of chains and anguished moans emanating from the cold, stone walls. A particularly chilling account tells of a tourist who felt a sharp tug on their clothing while standing alone in the dungeon. Turning quickly, they found no one behind them, only the eerie sensation of icy fingers lingering on their arm. Some claimed to see fleeting apparitions of gaunt, desperate figures staring back from the shadows, their hollow eyes filled with torment. The Crown Jewels exhibit, a popular attraction within the castle, has its own paranormal story. Guards have reported seeing a dark, faceless figure standing silently near the display late at night, watching them with an ominous presence. One guard recounted a terrifying encounter where the figure seemed to move closer with each blink, only to vanish entirely when backup arrived. The area is often described as having an unexplainable heaviness, as if centuries of greed, betrayal, and bloodshed linger in the very air. Perhaps the most harrowing reports come from the castle's oldest section, St. Margaret's Chapel. Despite its serene appearance, visitors frequently mention hearing ghostly voices singing hymns in the dead of night. Others have felt an unseen force pressing against their chests, making it difficult to breathe. One paranormal investigator described an encounter with a shadowy figure near the altar, its form so dark it seemed to absorb the light around it. The investigator claimed to feel an overwhelming sense of dread that persisted long after leaving the chapel. Edinburgh Castle stands as a testament to Scotland's storied past, but its haunted reputation adds an unforgettable layer of fear and fascination. For those brave enough to explore its ancient halls, the question lingers, are these ghostly encounters merely echoes of history, or are the castle's restless spirits still watching? About exploring the evidence, clues and theories. For every chilling story, there's often a trail of evidence that keeps believers and skeptics debating. Electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, recorded at these locations capture strange whispers and voices, often responding to investigators' questions. In one recording at the Tower of London, a voice faintly uttered the words, "Leave here," sending shivers down the spines of seasoned paranormal researchers. Photographic evidence can also be compelling. At Gettysburg, visitors have captured what appear to be figures in Civil War-era attire standing in fields or peering from behind trees. Similarly, ghost hunters at Edinburgh Castle have snapped images of glowing orbs and translucent shapes, adding to the mystery. Theories abound to explain these phenomena. Some suggest residual energy, an imprint of intense emotions, such as fear or despair, left behind during traumatic events. Others propose that spirits remain tethered to these locations due to unresolved conflicts or unfinished business. Skeptics, however, argue that many of these experiences can be attributed to environmental factors, psychological influences, or outright hoaxes. Paranormal investigators often use tools like EMF detectors, thermal cameras, and spirit boxes to probe deeper. While these methods have their critics, they offer tantalizing glimpses into a world that remains largely unexplored. The psychological perspective, fear and imagination. What drives our fascination with haunted landmarks? The answer lies partly in our own minds. Fear and imagination play a significant role in shaping our experiences. The power of suggestion can transform an ordinary creak or shadow into a ghostly encounter, especially in a setting charged with historical significance and eerie ambience. When we visit places like the Tower of London or Gettysburg, our expectations prime us to perceive the unexplained. Cultural and historical context also influences how we interpret paranormal phenomena. In societies with strong storytelling traditions, ghost stories become part of the collective memory, passed down and embellished over time. These tales create a feedback loop, reinforcing the belief in haunted landmarks. At the same time, the appeal of the paranormal taps into a deep-seated need for mystery and connection to the past. By imagining encounters with spirits, we engage with history in a profoundly personal way. However, critical thinking is crucial when evaluating such claims. While it's tempting to believe every eerie tale, it's important to question the evidence and consider alternative explanations. Conclusion: the enduring mystery. The stories of haunted landmarks captivate us not just because they scare us, but because they invite us to wonder. Whether it's the tragic fate of Anne Boleyn, the haunting echoes of Gettysburg, or the spectral melodies of Edinburgh Castle, these tales remind us that history is more than dates and facts. It's a living, breathing presence that can still touch our lives in unexpected ways. The enduring mystery of haunted landmarks lies in their ability to blur the lines between the known and the unknown, the past and the present. They challenge us to confront our fears, question our beliefs, and explore the possibilities of what lies beyond. So, the next time you visit a historic site, keep your senses sharp. You never know what, or who, you might encounter. And if you do have an experience that defies explanation, be sure to share it. After all, every great ghost story begins with a curious soul willing to look closer.